first of all, thanks for your time. And it's a tradition unlike any other, the fastest TF40 football camp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just talk about what it means to put on this camp each and every year.
Well, first of all, watching these kids grow, watching young kids come into my camp, and then down the road, these kids get D1 scholarships, D2, they go to D3, whatever, they go to the next level. That means a lot. You know, these kids, a lot of them come into the camp at a young age, and they're sort of what we call gun shy. You know, they're not really familiar with football. They're a little shy on the contact, and that's one of the biggest things our camp, the TF40 football camp, helps with. It helps with building confidence and teaching them how to develop power on the field. And with that, it makes it fun for them, and it makes it safe for them.
What's the biggest, is there anything new, particularly this year with the camp, that's out there versus previous years?
Yeah, we're doing it. Usually we do a 3-day camp, but this year we're only doing 2. But we usually, when I first got into doing this, we did like 5 or 6, 7 different things. And you know, you can only get so much in a camp. So what we're going to do is we're doing 2-day camp, 6 to 7:30. We're only throwing 2 techniques at them. And it's going to be pretty much the techniques so they can get great at those techniques. And these 2 techniques will cover safety and power. So it covers all of it.
You mentioned something interesting. I know you do this with all your camps, because this isn't the only camp you've been an instructor at the college camps and even bigger camps.
Yep.
And the biggest thing I know you preach is not necessarily, I mean, there's 2 things. It seems like safety and technique. Every year you mention that. If you could talk about the importance of the safety and technique aspect of your camp.
Well, they go hand in hand together. But first of all, if you don't have the correct technique, you're going to be on the downside of it. And which, if you're on the downside of it, you're not going to have fun, which in return, after so many years of that, then you know, you're either going to get injured or you're just going to get out of it completely. And I've seen a lot of kids come in that's had a lot of potential, that their technique was wrong. They're, you know, meaning going back to learning how to safety, learning how to, you know, take the head out of the game and develop power. And so really the bottom line is these kids that come in, they wasn't taught the correct way. So they wasn't having fun with it because they were getting manhandled, they wasn't strong enough. It's not fun getting beat up every day, you know, putting pads on and going out and just being a punching bag. It's not fun. I mean, so what we do for our kids at the camp is what we want to do, and just in 2 days, a short amount of time. And like I said, we're just going to focus on these 2 things on these 2 days. That's it. It's going to be just run them in the ground with these 2 things so they can get great at it. But if they learn these two things, again, you know, the technique, which it's, you know, technique is something they got to do every day, you know. But the biggest thing is the technique, and like I said, teaching them how to, we have a way of teaching the kids how to tackle with not using the head, with taking the head out of the game. And that's a big plus. You know, as a coach, as a strength coach years ago, we're talking back in the mid-90s, I was big on strengthening that neck. You know, I was always worried about a kid getting hurt, you know, upper body, neck-wise, not being able to use his limbs. You know, it doesn't happen, but it happens more than enough. And a lot of times that's the way they bring their head in, you know, head down, that kind of stuff. But so I used to just be big on strengthening that neck, and I still am, you know, strong neck, you know, but now it's with this new technique coming out. Well, it's not new anymore. It was new years ago when I first found it. but it's not new anymore. But I still don't see a lot of people out there using it. You know, I don't hear a lot of coaches out there using this technique. So, but like I said, it's called a same foot, same shoulder, and we'll teach them how to basically move in pads. You know, that's why we do helmets and shoulder pads, you know, because a lot of times you get out there, and they got to know how to move. You got to have the days without pads, you know. You got to have the days with just the helmet on. You got to have that. But with the camp, we don't have that kind of time, so we just get the helmet shoulder pads. We teach them how to move correctly as much as we can in the 2 days, and then we go into teaching the same foot, same shoulder, and teaching it's called the bucker technique, and then, you know, and if we have time, we'll break into the foot tackling drill. So, but everything is very close. You know, it's like you crawl before you walk, walk before you run type deal. You know, some kids will go about half speed through the whole camp. Some kids might go full speed, and if they do full speed, it'll be no more than 1.5 yards apart. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So, but always eyes up, you know, that type thing. Just the little cues that make a big difference.
What's the age range of your campers?
Well, we got them as young as age 5, going all the way up to high school, you know, up to being a senior in high school, because with what we do, everybody can be out there in the same field. You know, we just got to pair them up with somebody their size. You know, it's not something where, okay, we're doing lineman here, skill here, you know, speed there. It's nothing like it. It's just totally different camp, you know. I've actually condensed it every year we've done the camp. I've condensed it more and more and more and more, because I see, you know, the more you're involved with it, the more you learn. And so, but we've had, regardless of how much I condense it, it's gotten really good. I mean, it's, like I said, I've seen kids grow. I've seen kids where they're not sure about playing football, and now they're playing on Saturdays, you know. Even got one that's playing on Sunday. So, you know what I mean? It helps out, and it just builds a lot of confidence, and it gets to where they want to play and have fun, you know.
So again, nearly 2 decades of this camp. Again, talk about the dates, your location, and the times, and all that good stuff. And if anybody's interested in joining the camp, the information to get a hold of you.
Well, it's the next Wednesday, the 23rd, and Thursday, the 24th. It's at the Greenfield Rec Center in Botetourt at field number 5, and it's from 6 to 7:30. Helmet, shoulder pads, mouthpiece, and cleats. If you have cleats, if you don't have cleats, it's no big deal. But we do want you to have a mouthpiece though. And then, did I leave anything else out? That's it, ain't it?
So just call you.
Oh, they can call me. Yeah, I forgot. Okay. Yeah, they call me at 540-309-3934, and I can sign them up that way. Real simple.
Good deal. Anything else you want to add or say, Coach Harrison?
Well, I want to appreciate you for giving me the support, you know, and everybody else in this area. They really supported me, supported the camp. You know, that's why we're able to continue. You know, people talk about the camp you know, they give me feedback. You know, if it wasn't working, I wouldn't be doing it. I'd be, you know, it really is a lot of work. There's a lot of work involved, you know, trying to get everything situated. And, but it's worth it though. It really is, to watch these kids, you know, get better and have fun, so.
Good deal. Well, Coach, I appreciate you as always. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your camp, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother.